Hello there, everybody. Bonnie here, and it's Intuitive Eating Wednesday. I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to come on in, and while you do that, I'm going to go ahead and start my live on Instagram so that I'm streaming in all places at one time. When you come in, say hello to me. All right. Hey, Louise. I'm just going to say hi to my Instagram friends. Just 1 second. All right. Hi there. So we are now live on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. So welcome, welcome. When you come in to our Facebook or YouTube viewing or on Instagram, please come and say hello. Louise, how are you doing? I hope you're continuing to rehab really well. So just kind of let me know how you're doing on that. So yeah, Instagram's telling me to hang on. They're letting my followers know, but we're going to get started and they can watch the replay. We are talking today on Intuitive Eating Wednesdays about a very important topic. But before we get to that, can you tell me who's here with me? I do see some eyeballs. Just say hello in the comments. As you know, when I do my live trainings, I really like when there are other people on the other end of the camera that I'm talking to. It just makes it a whole lot easier for me to kind of talk to you and teach you and have communication back and forth. So go ahead and pop your name in and let me know who's here. So, Betsy, hey Betsy, we missed you Monday. Betsy, first of all, Betsy, if you go up to the Facebook link and you just click the StreamYard link, it will you'll be able to give StreamYard permission to show your name. So I'm really glad that you said it's Betsy. Betsy, we missed you Monday night on our Zoom party for the In Circle, but hopefully you got to watch the replay. Anyways, Claire's here. Hey, yay, yay, all my favorite people. Louise says slow and steady on the walking. Okay, keep it slow and steady. You're going to get there, right? There's no rush. You're going to get there. So I'm really excited to talk about this topic today. It's all about social media. Is it helpful or is it harmful when you're practicing or learning about intuitive eating? Now, I know there's going to be someone out there that says, okay, what are you going to tell us about that? Because guess what? We're right now on social media, right? I'm on YouTube, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram. So it's almost like, so what are you going to say? Don't learn about intuitive eating through social media, which is really where we're at right now. So no, I'm not necessarily going to say that, but I am going to dig deep in with you to the good, the bad, and the ugly, if you will. So, okay, let's get started. Betsy says, I forgot about Monday. We had to walk our dogs during a rain-free minute. Oh, that's okay. I really hope. Hey, Dr. V is here on Instagram. Yay! I'm everywhere. Yes, that's what I want to be. I want to be everywhere, Dr. V. So don't worry, Betsy. We've got a lot more Zooms coming up. So check your email. And I'm gonna remind you about it because I really want to see you. We had so much fun. So for those of you who don't know, we had a Zoom party the other night for my membership program. It's called the In Circle, the Intuitive Nutrition Circle. It's all about learning for sure, but it's also about having fun and getting to know each other because we're really family. And so we all shared a secret talent that we had, and we played a mindfulness game. So it was really a lot of fun. I do plan to have more of those coming up. Anyways, so today, Intuitive Eating Wednesday, for those of you who don't know, and for those of you who are new to me, what do I do? Who am I? And why is Wednesdays Intuitive Eating Wednesdays? So just to give you a little bit of a omnipresent Bonnie, hashtag that. Okay, I will, Dr. V. So I help chronic dieters develop trust in themselves and food so they can break free of dieting and really live life to the fullest. So really, what does living life to the fullest mean to you? I'd really love to know, because when you're in that dieting cycle, it prevents you from doing so much, right? It takes up so much of your brain. I was recently talking with a client and, she was saying that, well, I was asking her, how much of your brain space is taken up by thoughts of dieting, food, weight, body? And it was like more than 75%. So how much of your brain space is taken up about thoughts and worrying about food, diet, your body? What are you eating today? How is it going to impact your body? Let me know. Because when we decide to break free of dieting and we embrace intuitive eating, where we develop trust in ourselves again around food, something amazing happens. What do you think happens? There's a lot of space now in your brain to do all the things that you want to do, whether that's have new relationships, a new hobby, start a business, or whatever. So much positive. So here we are. Why did I call Intuitive Eating Wednesdays? Because every Wednesday I have a blog that goes live. We do a live training and we talk all about intuitive eating. And there's an email that goes out. If you're not on my email list, you have to let me know, post a comment below, because there's an email that goes out every single Wednesday on Intuitive Eating Wednesdays. Today, we're talking about social media. We're talking about social media because here's a question that I want to pose to you. Where did you learn about intuitive eating? Okay, so there's many different places that people find out about the world of intuitive eating. These can include maybe a family member mentioned it to you. Maybe a friend mentioned it. Maybe you actually are lucky enough to connect with a HAES aligned health professional. HAES, health at every size, aligned health professional. Maybe you Googled it on the internet. How do I stop dieting? And intuitive eating maybe came up, or social media. So can you post a comment? Because as I said, these are interactive. Post a comment and let me know, where is the very first time that you heard about intuitive eating? You on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, come on, share a little bit with me. Let me know where you've learned for the very first time about intuitive eating, and where do you get most of your information from? So I know there's a delay with comments. So as those comments are going to be coming in, hey, Dr. V from you on Facebook. Awesome. So that is great. Nina. Hi, Nina. Nina on Instagram. My daughter, a child feeding specialist. Yes, I know your daughter. She's awesome. And really, social media, I have to say, is where so many people get their information from. It's the new way of sending and receiving all kinds of information. So maybe that's from keeping tabs on your friends, right? Long distance friends. What are they up to these days? Or maybe, the latest news. Louise, you, of course. Thanks, Louise. Betsy, I think Facebook uses Betsy. She is, I don't remember. Okay. So, social media is here to stay. And while on one hand, right, it may appear to be a very fun and engaging place to be, it is important to understand the not so fun side of social media. Now, personally, I don't love social media. I'm really going to put myself out there and admit that. I do social media because I do know that I can reach a lot more people and help a lot more people with their intuitive eating journey. So, and actually, I am enjoying social media a lot more now, since I've recently taken a course with my coach, Lindsay Anderson. So shout out to Lindsay. And yeah, I like it a lot more because she's really teaching me how to do content in her in her past program, Content That Converts. Dr. V and I were in that program together. And also, I'm going to be doing another cohort with her. So Dr. Chris, it's hard to do IG and Facebook simultaneously. I'm impressed how you pull this off. I've been practicing, Dr. V. I love the intuitive eating name. Yeah, Dr. V, it's really amazing. So in terms of intuitive eating, their social media can send a lot of mixed messages. They can be helpful, but they can also be harmful to your intuitive eating journey and your understanding of intuitive eating. So that's what I want to dig into today. So let's start with the positive. Okay, how social media is helpful. Number one, okay, it gives a voice to qualified, well-educated people to speak on important topics, such as intuitive eating and also other nutrition-related or health-related topics. Now, I'm going to, step out there and say registered dietitians like myself, certified intuitive eating counselors, for the most part, people who are aligned with health at every size, who are familiar with intuitive eating. It is a great, great place to really help us. And I consider myself that qualified health professional It gives us a place to promote real evidence-based information about intuitive eating. So I really want to say about that, it allows us to represent intuitive eating correctly. And it gives us a place to advocate against diet culture and for more of a non-diet approach when it comes to mending relationships with food in your body. So it does give us that platform. And I think it's actually very, because here I am right now talking to you, I'm teaching you, I'm interacting with you, I'm sharing information as I do every single Wednesday on my live trainings, so that it is very helpful. Social media can be very helpful in that regard. Number two, the second way social media is very helpful when it comes to, specifically, I want to talk about intuitive eating, is it provides a starting point. It provides a baseline for intuitive eater newbies. So as mentioned before, especially nowadays, many people come into the world of intuitive eating because of social media posts that they see online or information that they may see circulating in their news feeds, right? I'm sure, most of us right here on watching me or watching the replay, right? We take some time to scroll through our news feed, whether it's in the morning, in the middle of the day, at lunch, whether it's at nighttime, and we kind of stop when we see certain things. And if you're interested in learning about intuitive eating or never dieting again, you're going to stop at those posts, right? That grab your attention. So social media in that regard can provide a starting point, providing some baseline information for intuitive eating newbies. I'm getting a phone call in the middle of this when I'm showing the Instagram live. This is a little awkward. That's never happened before, Dr. V. So I'm not answering it, obviously, but I don't know if it's still when the call's coming in. Does anybody know? Am I still live on Instagram? Is like this recording? I don't know. We're just going to keep going and we'll see what happens to them. Okay. So I'm back. I'm back. Dr. V, you're not calling me. So I'm back on Instagram. I hope that wasn't weird, Instagram followers. Thank you for hanging out with me. Okay. So with that being said, I think social media, in all seriousness, can really be a starting point for newbies, providing some baseline information so you can really get started in your journey, start to have some of these new thoughts kind of start to seep in your mind, and really just think about it, towards the journey you would really like to have about trying to change your relationship with food in your body. Okay, so I think in that regard for newbies, it's something really great. It gives you something to think about before you want to take deeper action. Okay, so number three, how social media can be helpful is it helps to challenge and to tackle and to stand up against the toxic messages of diet culture. Look, with many influential RDNs and intuitive eating counselors that are, out there, and experts, right, who are experts within intuitive eating, who are out there on social media, it really gives us that ability to kind of seek out the toxic messages of diet culture and really break them down and show the truth behind it. And that's also very important, especially for people who are new to who are new to intuitive eating. It's really important because you're going to get sucked into everything because you don't really know so much about intuitive eating, right? All you know is, if you're dieting for like years and decades, is the messages from diet culture, right? And again, they are quite toxic. And so it allows us to be able to dismantle those toxic messages of diet culture. It gives us a platform to do that. Number four, the fourth way that social media is helpful is it provides an environment for intuitive eaters to share stories. I should say for intuitive eaters in training to provide stories, share with each other, feel supported, and connect with others that are going through similar experiences, right? So social media can provide a very large sense of community, accountability, and relatability, especially for those who are either just starting out or who are on the journey for a while but are bumping into obstacles and who really want to be supported. So with that said, I do have a free Facebook group. If you're not in my free Facebook group, I suggest you definitely go there. You can just go to intuitiveeatinggroup.com. That'll take you straight to my Facebook group. It's a free community where we do lots of cool stuff that you can learn. If you want to go even deeper, I invite you to check out my membership program, also a community. It's called the In Circle. the Intuitive Nutrition Circle, which you could just go to intuitivenutritioncircle.com. I will share with you that for that community, you really do need to have gone through the Intuitive Eating Basics program, because you have to have some foundational knowledge in order to then move into the membership, where we're doing continuous training and support. So those are two things that you may want to check out. You can always DM me and I'll share more about that. So let's move. Dr. V says, yes. Let's see what Dr. V says. Comment. Let's get some comments going. Dr. V says, my weekly live stream partner, Monica Klein, deliberately uses the term lifestyle rather than diet in her program. You two should connect. Awesome. So I would totally connect with her. Maybe you want to do a little email intro, Dr. V. That would be great. I want to also say that the term lifestyle can be used as a diet in disguise. So I don't know, Monica, but I'm totally, in talking to her and seeing what her philosophy is. Unfortunately, and this is something I'm going to talk about in just a second, a lot of the diet programs, like diet industry, they're co-opting words that we use within the intuitive eating world to have people think that, oh yeah, this isn't really a diet, but in fact it is a diet. And I agree with you, Dr. V. Community is the best part of social media, hands down. I am in quite a few support groups for business and otherwise, and I find community to be tremendous. Okay, so let's go for, she's a rock star in the nutrition world. Awesome. So totally connect us. I would love to talk to her. All right. So let's talk about how social media is harmful. So we really understand how it's helpful. And I am on social media and I do love the platform to help me to share messages. But I want you to be alert and aware to how social media can be harmful to you on your social media. On your social media journey. That doesn't make sense. On your intuitive eating journey. All right. Come say hello if you're just joining. I see a few new people joined us. So come say hello so I know who's here with me. I like to talk to you back and forth. But before I get into the harmful parts of social media, let's do some participation. Can you share with me, aside from the community aspect, share with me how social media has actually helped you on your intuitive eating journey? So go ahead, post that in the comments. I would really like to hear. Maybe, you have had a benefit that I haven't shared with you yet. So pop that in while I take a nice cool drink to stay hydrated. Because I do know that social media is here to stay. So we want to make sure that we're using it to the best to support us on our journeys. Okay, so let me know. Pop a comment in and totally tell me who's here, because I want to know. And again, in the interest of time and respecting your time for being here, I so appreciate it. I'm going to move on, but totally go. I will read the comments after, because there's a delay when you type until the comments come in. So let's move into how social media can be harmful. Number one, there are a lot of mixed messages, and I'm talking specifically around intuitive eating. So social media can be a confusing place with misinformation. While one account that you might follow is telling you one thing about intuitive eating or any other nutrition topic, by the way, another account might be telling you this total opposite. So I want you to be aware of that. Okay, I want you to be aware of that. My recommendation to you is to only consume content from qualified, quote unquote, social media influencers. What does that mean? I mean, people that are registered, that are certified within intuitive eating, that are fully HAES aligned. So the registered dietitians, certified intuitive eating counselors, and other healthcare professionals that really are HAES aligned, right? That are committed to practicing from a weight neutral practice. Louise says she learns from others on the journey, which is why community is so important. Yes, Louise. Betsy, I realize I'm not alone, but people's issues became overwhelming, so I follow and unfollow different groups. Great point, Betsy. Great point. It can become overwhelming by listening, to other people, and it depends what their mindset is, right? You don't want to be brought down from other people. I get it. So you're doing exactly what is right for you to take care of you, right? Your self-care is you're unfollowing certain groups or accounts that are not serving you best. So that's great. Dr. V, I popped a few in. I don't even know what that means, Dr. V. Can you give me a little more on that? Nina on Instagram says, for me, I realize when people say, oh, such and such, it's not a diet, I could say, really? Do you even hear what you're saying? Exactly, right? That's great, Nina. So your ears are becoming expert to that, right? So basically, what I'm understanding that Nina is sharing is that when people out there on social media are promoting intuitive eating in a certain way that actually is a diet in disguise, Nina seems to be able to really flesh that out and say, wait, stop. Do you hear what you're saying? That's really dieting, right? Okay. So I'm going to give them a few more examples. Thank you, Nina, for sharing that. I'm going to give a few more examples about diets in disguise on social media in just a second. Okay, so number two, how social media can actually be harmful on your intuitive eating journey is that you might be influenced to listen to and follow the wrong social media voices. Again, with so many different kinds of accounts out there on social media, there are bound to be ones that claim to be supportive of your intuitive eating journey, but in reality, unfortunately, they're not, right? So I myself, as I look through accounts on Instagram, I want to see who's out there, what are people saying, what are they doing. I'm also, noticing people claiming to be an expert within intuitive eating, and I'm like, okay, let me look at their account, let me look at their profile, let me look at their background, and in fact, there really isn't anything to really support that expert advice that they're given. Dr. V says credentials are important. Vetting is challenging. Absolutely. And I think, Dr. V, that's even harder, right, on social media. And there's a lot of, there's a lot of this worked for me, so it'll work for you kind of thing, right? Look, I know it's not all about credentials, like lived experiences are really important, but that educational background is very important to really be able to mesh the lived experiences with the science. The science is important. So I definitely like urge you to follow accounts that support a non-diet approach and that are aligned with your personal intuitive eating values and really the ones that advocated against diet culture, but not from a diet in disguise perspective. And I know that that's not always so easy, but like Dr. V says, vetting is important. Yes. Dr. V says, true, walk the walk as opposed to just talking the talk. There you go. All right, number three, the third way social media can be harmful. It enables anyone and everyone to create a brand. So I kind of think all of what I'm saying is around the same message. I'm breaking it down into different things, but that's how important this is. Anybody with a phone and Wi-Fi can create a social media platform and claim to be an expert in just about anything. That's the deal, right? That is the deal. People may have a ton of followers, which, by the way, people pay for followers just so that looks impressive. And that generates a lot of likes and thumbs up and things like that. It doesn't mean the information they're sharing is valid, correct, or even helpful to you. And number four, really, social media can be very harmful on your diet, on your breaking free of dieting and intuitive eating journey, because the messages that oftentimes we see actually promotes diet culture, even though they're claiming to be intuitive eating. So what I mean by that is the messages of intuitive eating are often misinterpreted or they're twisted by diet culture. So if you are scrolling and you see a post that's claim that intuitive eating can help you lose weight, or intuitive eating is a way to lose weight, or any connection to intuitive eating and weight loss, that is unfortunately the wrong way to promote intuitive eating. And that is actually unethical. And the creators of intuitive eating are really on high alert to find people who do that, because that is wrong. Intuitive eating is not a weight loss program. Will some people lose weight? Yes. Will some people not lose weight? Yes. I could tell you what will happen is your up and down, yo-yoing of your weight will stop. Once you learn to become an intuitive eater, you will see that your weight will stabilize. So accounts that promise intuitive eating and weight loss and intuitive eating, that is unfortunately promoting a diet culture message. If there are any accounts, posts, or messages that you read on social media that are pushing the thin ideal, okay, what is the thin ideal, right? That's the societal view of what a woman's body should, quote unquote, look like, right? If you see before and after shots on your social media, run from those accounts. Dr. V says, with a smartphone and Wi-Fi, you can build a mansion, even if it's a house of cards. Yeah. Weight loss is just a side effect of good health habits. Right. So Dr. V, that's my favorite thing to say. Those of you who know me for a while, you know I say this in my sleep. Weight loss is not a behavior. It is an outcome of habit and behavior changes. Just had this conversation this morning with a client. It's real. I'm going to share this with you. I wasn't planning to, but that brings something up for me. Hold on a second. Let me grab it because I wrote it down. She says to me when we got on our Zoom session today, she says, everything you said that will happen is happening. I was like, whoa, talk to me about that. What does that mean? I'm seeing her for diabetes management, and we're working from a weight neutral perspective as we work towards helping her develop trust again in her body and her food. So it was really interesting because she's on vacation this week. And now that she's on vacation and she's nourishing herself consistently and she's walking and hiking every day in the beautiful place where she is, and she's sleeping and her stress is way down, all of a sudden her fasting blood sugars are well within target range. She's got so much more energy. And yes, she started dropping weight, but we're not intentionally working on weight loss. But guess what? As Dr. V says, habits, behaviors, it just happens. Body composition is so much more important than weight. Yeah, absolutely. And there's so many factors that go into impacting what one's weight is, right? Okay, so there you go. Remember, weight loss is not a behavior. It's not a skill you can learn. It's an outcome of habit and behavior change, which includes mindset, right? So the intuitive eating work that we do starts in the mind. We've got to reject the diet mentality and really move to a place of believing in yourself, your belief systems, your values, and then we move to the inner work. We've got to do the mindset work, that inner work, and then we move into rather the external work. Okay, well, what about nutrition and what about foods and what about exercise, right? Once you have a healthy non-diet mindset and you really have what I call mind trust, then we continue to move forward and you'll see changes happening. Also, diet culture messages that claim to be intuitive eating. If somebody is promoting a certain way of eating, clean, green, or any other way of eating, if someone is telling you to count something, or if you have any list of good foods and bad foods, this is not intuitive eating. If somebody is claiming that a way of eating is a form of a lifestyle or for wellness, Dr. V, that's why I was referring to that before. You got to look a little closer. If they're telling you what to eat and what not to eat, that's dieting. These are all examples of diet culture in disguise. And we have to just be alert to it, especially on social media, like we said, especially in social media, when any Tom, Dick, and Harry can kind of create a brand around intuitive eating. Do your due diligence. Check out the accounts you follow, look into the people behind the accounts, and just be very alert to misguided information. Dr. V, when I drop dumbbells at the gym, I experience immediate weight loss. We can always rely on Dr. V for some comedy. Thank you for joining me, Dr. V, today. Always jealous when you're on Lindsay's live. So happy you're here. So for up-to-date, reliable information, guys, follow me because I do believe that I give evidence-based, very reliable information on intuitive eating. Clearly, my Instagram, which is my handle is Bonnie R. Giller. You've got me on Facebook. But if you didn't know, I have a YouTube channel and I have a show on YouTube called The Diet Free Zone Show. You can go there. Just go to www.bonnie.tube. Hey, Dr. V, if you're at your keyboard, can you write that in for me? Okay, www.bonnie.tube. If you just go to bonnie.tube, that takes you to my YouTube channel. And I highly recommend you hit subscribe, because not only do I do lives there weekly, but I do very often upload new videos on the Diet Free Zone show. Okay, so what else can we talk about? I want to answer questions before we move forward. Okay, what else? What else do you want to talk about? Lots of, thanks, Dr. V, lots of mixed messages out there on social media. Okay, so again, let me do a little summary. These are the things you want to watch out for on social media. Social media people that claim to be intuitive eaters, but consistently label foods as good and bad, healthy or unhealthy. That's number one. We're going to be on the lookout for that. Number two, promotes calorie counting, macro tracking, engaging in, cheat meals or cheat days or any form of detox or cleanse. If they encourage their followers to take away certain foods from their, diet, from their eating, right? Go gluten-free because it's healthier, or don't eat sugar, or so forth. If they're posting before and after photos or other forms of, fitness inspiration posts and such, or photos. They have a really, really large, crazy large following that, in fact, may not really be 100% real followers. Just remember, having a whole lot of followers doesn't mean their messages are going to support or align you on your journey. Okay? So, social media can be helpful. Social media can absolutely be helpful, but social media can be harmful. So, do your due diligence and don't rely on social media for all of your intuitive eating information. It's very important. It's a great place to start. Hands down, I have no worries about that. It really is. But taking, this seriously, you can't really learn everything you need to know. And it's not always so safe for you to do that from social media. So, what is your experience? What is your experience with social media? Let me know in the comments. And remember, I would greatly love it if you followed me at bonnie.tube on Instagram, at Bonnie R. Giller is my handle. And if you're not in my Facebook group, just go to intuitiveeatinggroup.com. It's a free community where we can, work together there. Dr. V, I've advised patients to avoid certain foods when they show sensitivities to immunoglobulin levels, but that's functional medicine, not intuitive eating. Exactly. So great point, Dr. V. There is a place for nutrition therapy, medical nutrition therapy, and intuitive eating can mesh. I do have a couple of videos on my YouTube channel about that. So if you want to check it out, it definitely can go together with IBS, food sensitivities, diabetes, PCOS, and more. Okay. So, and there's definitely a place for these recommendations. Absolutely. I've been both praised and attacked on social media. It goes with the territory. Absolutely. And they do go hand in hand. Yes. So that's my little spiel for today on social media. That is what I wanted to share. I hope it's going to give you some things to think about. And again, if you want to learn more and you haven't yet dipped into the Intuitive Eating Basics course, I totally think that you should check that out. And that's just intuitiveeatingbasics.com. I know Betsy and Louise are in that group. Nina, thanks for the info. Going to check out your YouTube. Yeah, check it out, subscribe, and share it with other people, because I'm loving YouTube. And Nina, I'm doing a lot more on YouTube coming up, so you don't want to miss that. Intuitiveeatingbasics.com will get you started on your intuitive eating journey at a deeper level than just social media will. And then you can just join us in our In Circle, in the membership, where we have lots of fun and lots of learning and lots of group support. All right. That's it for me right now. I do have an announcement to make. Next Wednesday, there is no Intuitive Eating Wednesday because it is a Jewish holiday. I celebrate Rosh Hashanah, so I will be off on Tuesday and Wednesday. So there will not be an Intuitive Eating live next week. So the schedule is going to be off in September. But I'll share other dates that I am going to go live instead. So be on the lookout if you're on my email list or my Facebook group, and I will definitely post to let you know when I'm going to go live. All right. Great stuff. Love seeing you live. We'll check you out on YouTube, Bonnie.tube. Awesome, Dr. V. Thank you so much for being here and participating. And thank you, everybody else. I know Louise and Betsy and who else? Louise and Betsy and Claire. Claire was here. Claire, you didn't say much today. Hope all's going well with you. And certainly Dr. V. Have a great, great day, everybody. I'll see you next time. Any questions, just DM me. Talk to you soon. Bye.